Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Starfield news update, where we're going to be going over roughly what's been going on, right, in the last 3 months since the last update in November. So, buckle up, get settled in. We've got a lot to cover in the next 6 or 7 minutes or so. Alright, first up, let's talk about what Bethesda's plans for Starfield are, right? On the Discord and in the news, there hasn't been a huge amount of updates. However, in interviews previously, they have said that they're not done with Starfield. Yes, a lot of focus has gone on to Fallout 76, but Todd Howard himself has said that they're not done by a long shot. Okay, he's confirmed that there is more coming beyond the Shattered Space DLC, which released in around September, October last year. The word on the street is that the next expansion may well be called Starborn. Now, obviously, knowing what we know about the end game of, well, I don't know if you can call it an end game, but the end game of Starfield, that's likely, but there obviously is no official announcement yet. But obviously, keep your eyes peeled for any news dropping in 2025. Now, here's where things get a little bit interesting. In fact, they get really interesting. There's a juicy rumour going around about a major code-altering update coming. Now, I don't know what that means, but it could be huge. We're talking about potential overhaul of the entire experience. Is that going to be more dynamic space gameplay with a cosmos that feels alive and unpredictable, which people have already done with mods? Or is it going to be a complete overhaul of the economic system, right? Where your financial decisions actually matter on what you do with the economy of the space system? And what about smoother transitions, right? With a lot fewer loading screens. No one likes those loading screens. And come on, guys, it's 2025. We should not need that amount of loading screens, right? Or is it going to be NPCs with improved AI, right? That actually makes the game world feel more alive. We've already seen it with the likes of, I saw a post earlier on in the week about the Stargate mod that somebody had bought in characters into the actual Stargate base inside Cheyenne Mountain. And somebody commented on that post saying, oh my god, have they added in characters into it? And the other guy was like, nope, I'd used a mod to add characters. So adding that sort of stuff into the game brings more realism. It brings more to the game. That's the kind of game-changing stuff that we need to be looking at and that we want Bethesda to run at. But Bethesda isn't just sitting on their hands waiting, alright? They've been busy with regular updates, they have done quality of life improvements, and they've been celebrating milestones, right? So Starfield obviously hit a massive 15 million players back in December, but to mark the occasion, they introduced the Daymog land vehicle, if you remember that. Now, finally, we get to cruise around in a vehicle that kind of has a bit more style than the Rev 8, even though there's plenty of mods out there for it. The modding community, again, as I mentioned, has been massively hard at work as well. If you haven't checked out mods on Creations, definitely go and do it. There are so many mods out there. We're talking outpost mods, we're talking ship mods, ship expansion mods, getting rid of constraints in the ship builder. We're talking so many different mods out there, weapon mods, everything. They really do change the game. Now, there is also an awful lot of Star Wars mods out there as well, so if you want a Star Wars game, these are the mods to do it with. Now, obviously we're talking about Creations Club, we're talking about mods, but they've really stepped up the game here, right? Xbox has now been introduced with that Creations Club. That was introduced way back in sort of July time. So they've been brought back into the party. No longer is it now only for PC players. It is now for everybody who has Xbox or PC. Now, even with cloud gaming, you actually don't even need an Xbox to play Starfield. You can play it in the metaverse with cloud gaming, with a Meta headset on. I will do a video on that later on. Coming up later, but yeah, you can do that, and it's great. It really is a good laugh. But one of the things that was always a bit of a constraint was how many mods you could load, right? Now, the mod limit has now been increased. So they've now increased that mod limit to 4,500 mods. Now, how that's going to work with your 100 gig space that you have been given by Bethesda for the amount of mods, and how it's going to work running 4,500 mods running at once, I'm not too sure on that one, right? I generally have between maybe 15 to 25 mods going at once, maybe less. But for all you achievement hunters out there, Bethesda has now made achievement-friendly tags. Now, I know there are some modders out there who don't like this because Bethesda has been pushing paid mods and will only allow achievement-friendly on paid. So there are some split decisions around this, shall we say. But it is good because basically now if you do want to be that achievement hunter and use mods, you can still do that now, which is really, really good. Alright, so let's get into a little bit of numbers here. So as of December 29th, which is when these statistics were taken, Starfield only had about sort of 3,756 concurrent players on Steam. Now, I know what you're thinking, that sounds really low, and yes, it does sound low, but not everybody is playing this on Steam, right? It's a significant drop from the peak of around 330,000 according to Active Player IO, sorry. And effectively you can see the Starfield monthly player count broken down from launch up until the last sort of 30 days. Now, it is a telling story. Okay, so at launch, roughly 7,658,841 players was average every single month. In October, that jumped up to 9.2 million, then it jumped down a bit, and then it consistently hovered around the sort of 6 to 7 million mark, and then it dropped a little bit. But we have dropped in the last sort of 30 days to around 3.5 million average monthly players. Now, that's not a massive amount of players for the amount that is PC and Xbox. It is it's over a 50% drop since game launch, which is understandable considering the launch was a little bit, let's say, Fallout 76-ish. But they have really, really improved those the quality of life. They've improved the game quite a lot since launch, which has been really good. Now, will another DLC like Starborn bring back more players? Okay, or will it just be a continual sort of, we'll hover around the 3.5 million average a month? Only you guys know that, right? Only you guys know that to play it. Okay. Alright, so what does all this mean for Starfield's future? It's clear that Bethesda is still all in for supporting the game. The massive mod support that has been there and the continued updates do show that they're committed to improving and expanding the Starfield experience. While the Steam numbers might raise you some eyebrows there, but the overall player base is still actually quite strong. Alright? With the potential for the thousands of mods more to keep things out there, it keeps things fresh a lot more. So the rumoured major update of Starborn and that code update as well could be that Starfield's future is looking very bright. Now, obviously, the same can be said for other games out there. I mean, look at Fallout 76. That launched to a terrible launch. Absolutely terrible. But now look at it, right? It is concurrently one of the better games out there to play. And there are so many more people jumping into it. And Bethesda is consistently upgrading that and updating it. Bringing out new content every other month. It's really getting up there. Will Starfield be the same once they've actually sorted out a lot of the problems? Okay, so will the Starfield experience that we play now in 2025 and further on, that is going to be a far cry from what we saw at launch. Alright, and personally, I can't wait to see what Bethesda and the modding community has in store for us next. Right guys, that is all. I've gone over a little bit than the 7 minutes. What do you think about these updates and the rumours? Let me know in the comments down below. Are you still playing Starfield, or are you waiting for the next big game out there? If you are, let me know. I'm looking at a couple of new games out there at the moment. Star Miner, Dune Awakening, which had the Nvidia launch the other day, with their 5090s or 50 series, and DLSS 4 with Dune Awakening. That is going to be pretty epic. Also looking at Space Engineers 2 at the end of this month as well. So there's a lot more content to come, and there'll be a lot more games on the channel as well, guys. So I hope you're liking this, and I hope that you guys are enjoying the content. If you are, let me know in the comments down below. Leave the video a like and a subscribe. It really does help the channel out. We've been gaining massive amounts of support over the last few weeks. Mainly, I think, because of my cyberpunk style videos. But they are going to continue as well. And as always, guys, if you've enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and everybody have a great day out.